Welcome to the Team Builder Leadership Institute. My name is Tony Roberts. I am the Chief Transformation Officer of the Team Builder Leadership Institute. And in this video session, I want to share with you a little information and talk about the dynamics of leadership energy. In other words, how many times have you seen a leader come into a room and all the employees in the room were engaged and they were having a good time and they were talking, and the leader walks in and just silence. Everybody just shuts up. Nobody, they stop looking at each other. They just turn away. Well, did that leader's, what they brought into the room, their energy, have an effect on the dynamics of the workplace, which we call at the Team Builder Leadership Institute the community dynamics? Did it have an effect? And the answer, of course, is absolutely. So at the Team Builder Leadership Institute, we master and specialize in creating positive workplace communities. We instill what we call community dynamics to make the community a very positive, encouraging, challenging, rewarding workplace, high performance, highly profitable. Okay, so let's talk about how a leader's energy actually affects the culture and the productivity. Now, so we want to talk about how you influence people to positively pursue and accomplish a specific set or specific individual or group mission or set of goals. That is our definition of leadership we're going to use for this conversation. So, influencing people to positively pursue and accomplish a specific individual or group mission or set of goals. Okay. Now, one caveat I always give in all of my sessions is communication does not happen accidentally. It must be planned. And so part of what we're talking about in this one is nonverbal communication. You have to build your communication platform in an organization, because if you don't plan your communication, it'll happen accidentally. And you'll regret it because it won't be positive, it'll be negative. All right, so let's look at the characteristics of an effective leader, someone who brings energy to the workplace. So the example I gave you a minute ago, the person who walks in and everybody shuts up. Have you ever seen a leader who walks into a room and maybe everybody was working and interacting, but as the leader comes in, the energy boosts, everybody gets more excited and they get happier and they start producing more and they start interacting more and it's more positive. Have you ever seen that? That's exactly what should happen and will happen if you have a leader that has the professional leadership skills and advanced communication skills to build that community dynamic throughout his team and, of course, his or her organization. All right, so let's look at their characteristics. First of all, that leader is going to be an honest person. They're always going to treat everybody with dignity, respect, and honesty. Now, sometimes our honesty has to be, let's say, it's more of guidelines and guidance and coaching. In other words, it's not necessarily totally positive, but that means you have to be able to do it in a way where you're providing feedback, not criticism. So, but you've got to be honest. As a leader, they've got to know that everything that comes out of my leader's mouth, he or she is always honest. Okay? Builds trust. Now, you also have to be positive. What that means is the leader is always focused on what will work, not what won't work. What we can do, not what we can't do. What will give us the result, not won't give us the result. So when they give instructions, they don't tell you 1,000 things not to do. They simply help you understand exactly what to do. Now, in one of these sessions, I share with you how to communicate that way, and delegation is the most powerful tool a leader has, and it's all about his or her communication skills. We have a program called the Wordsmith Program, the master skills of the communicator and master leader. And in that program, it shows you exactly how to have these conversations, how to delegate. It shows you how to build instant rapport, likability. You understand why they think the way they do, why they interact and act the way they do, why they behave the way they do. It's very advanced communication skills, and it helps you build that community dynamic. All right, the leader must always be supportive. Everything that comes out of their mouths must teach, train, and educate. There can't be any negative things that come out of the mouth. Everything has got to be supporting the mission, supporting the goal, supporting the action, supporting the effort. The leader has to be goal-oriented. They're always focused on what we're here to do and how we're getting it done and what leads to that result. The leader, of course, has to be caring. Now, actually, these 9 characteristics, if you look at meta-analysis that have been done around the world with people from all cultures and countries, these are the fundamental things that all cultures and all kinds of people want from their leader. They want them to be honest, positive, supported, goal-oriented, caring, meaning that you care about your employees. You're as concerned about their success as you are yours. As a matter of fact, one of the things you learn at the Team Builder Leadership Institute when you take our professional leadership standard, our professional full spectrum leadership certification course, one of the things you learn is successful leaders, highly effective leaders, are that way because they make everybody on their team successful. And think about this. If everybody on your team is successful, how is it possible you wouldn't be? It's not. So if you make all your team members successful, you are automatically successful. So that's the kind of caring we're talking about, is you take responsibility and accountability for their success. If they give you what's required, you ensure they're successful by giving them that support they need. You care about their success. Okay? Now, a good listener. A good listener and a leader is someone who hears what the employee is trying to say. Now, a lot of times because of differences in belief systems and differences in communication styles, it can be hard for one individual to understand another. And that's why in our Wordsmith program, in that system, you learn to recognize different words, phrases, and focus. You learn to recognize those communication styles and those belief systems so you truly get the meaning of what the employee is trying to convey. Because it's not just opening your ears and hearing, and a lot of times we don't even do that. It is understanding what you're hearing. People use different words, phrases, and focus in different ways. So if you're not attuned to it, you think they meant one thing and they meant something totally different. That's what a good listener is they have the skills to be able to translate what the sender is saying so the receiver is receiving through the right frequency or channel. They understand the words and how they're using them and the phrases and how they're using them and the meaning that the sender's got them. You're also empathetic, meaning that you empathize with the person when they have challenges or they have things they have to work on or they have family issues. You're empathetic. You're not necessarily sympathetic, but you do understand and you do work with them as far as these challenges they have. In other words, with people you have to understand they're human beings. They're not machines. So you've got to empathize with them in the different things that happen to people. We have different challenges. And if you're a good leader, you're going to help them overcome those challenges. That's what we do. Confident. A very effective leader is a very confident leader. They're confident in their abilities. They're confident in their skills. And that's because they ensure they have the skills and abilities. They get them. They don't just use what mom and dad gave them. They learn advanced communication skills, advanced leadership skills, the tools, the techniques, the behaviors. The behaviors are so important because so many leaders use bad behaviors. Well, think about it. Can you think of a leader that because of their behaviors they turn people off, they create resentment? Some people don't even like them. They just create chaos because their behaviors are not the most effective in the workplace. And I'm sure you all can. You don't want to be that leader. You want to have behaviors that create a community dynamic of harmony, profitability, success, reward. In other words, you want a community dynamic people, you focus them on what we're here to do, not on each other's behaviors. And then, of course, knowledgeable. A highly effective leader is very knowledgeable about what they're doing, what needs to happen, about delegating, about training, about teaching. They know how to interact with people on a more advanced level. They have the knowledge to be a powerful leader. Okay? Now, what a positive leader is when they come into the room is not a leader on a power trip. You've all probably seen leaders that come in and they think they're the best thing since sliced bread, or it's all about that title, I am the vice president or the CEO. Well, leaders who have egos like that, they're not effective at all. What they create is resentment. You know, I've seen organizations where the leaders won't even acknowledge employees that are not their level. Okay, so if you want to be a killer of morale and productivity, that's definitely the way to go about it. You always want to make sure that you treat everybody with dignity, respect, and honesty. So control freaks, as I like to call them. You don't want a leader who wants to control every action of everybody all the time. A good leader, an effective leader, and I share this in some of the other sessions, an effective leader allows people to learn how to make positive choices to produce results, allows people and trains people so they make their own decisions, logical decisions where they come up with plans to achieve things. In other words, they teach people to be independent leaders themselves. A good leader is always training other leaders. That's what a good leader does. That's what a highly effective leader does. And that allows the leader, when they get promoted, they got somebody to move in right behind them. They always have employees ready to take up the challenge. And that's what we share in the Team Builder Leadership Institute's professional full spectrum leadership, is we put in a leadership succession program and standard where you always have leaders ready. Now, Leading by respect. What is leading by respect? It's not because you like them necessarily. It's because you want them to be the most effective they can be, and you want your team to get the best result it can get, and you want your company to get the best result it can get, and you want them to pay you handsomely for that. In other words, you want a reward for that effort. All right. So you lead by respect. You set the example. You always show them the behaviors that you want them to emulate. You show them how to be effective with each other. You show them how to build that community dynamic. You're always treating them with dignity, respect, and honesty. Now, what will things do for out of respect? Because you do the same thing for them, meaning that they repeat what you do. We do as we see, not as we're told. So what the leader does is focus on the goals and make sure everything that comes out of their mouth is focused on the goals. Everything they do is focused on the goals. Everything they share is focused on the goals. And what you do is you program your team to do the same thing. Over time, they will come to work. They will leave eye outside. When they step inside, it will be about us and the goals, us and the goals, us and the goals. They will focus on the goals until they get back outside. And that's what you want to create, is a group of people who are focused on why they're here and what they need to produce. That is what a highly energetic leader does, is they bring that energy of, we're here to achieve, we're here to do it together, this is about us, look what we can do. Each one of you is getting what you want, and we're getting what we want collectively. That's what that leader does. So you never want to be that leader that brings negative energy, because negative energy kills morale, it kills productivity, it kills relationships. You want to build a community dynamic, and a community dynamic, a positive community dynamic, can only be built through positive behaviors and examples and traits. So you've got to be that positive leader. If not, think about this. Why should a company pay you a salary when you're costing them more money than your salary with your negative behaviors? And that's what happens when leaders don't bring that positive energy. So at the Team Builder Leadership Institute, we have the Professional Full Spectrum Leadership Certification. It shows leaders those professional skills that they can learn, emulate, be evaluated on, that shows them how to be a professional leader. Now, with the community dynamics and even with the Wordsmith program, you learn the language of the master leader and communicator. You learn to be an extremely powerful communicator. That's advanced leadership. That's way beyond your norm, you see. And then organizational ecosystem is where we come in and we find exactly where the challenges are through our proprietary analysis systems. We align every system and every process, so every action by every employee every day is creating the goals of the organization. And you have that positive community dynamic because we build that in with our proprietary systems as well. So, hope you enjoy the information. Learn how to be that positive leader. Bring that energy with you. And if we can help at all, call us or contact us at the Team Builder Leadership Institute. Thank you for listening.